Hi there, thank you so much for joining. My name's Naomi and I'm going to be telling you the story of the rodent detection dogs for South Georgia. South Georgia and the South Sandwich Islands are a British overseas territory in the South Atlantic. They are remote and difficult to access. There's no permanent human population and the only way of getting there is by boat. The nearest land is 800 miles away in the Falklands, and that's where I'm based. In the 18th century, South Georgia was a hub for whaling, and you can see the remains of the old whaling stations today. Although whaling has long since been banned in South Georgia waters, their influence remains. The whalers brought with them a selection of unwanted visitors. They brought reindeer for food, plants that reminded them of home, and they brought rats, and some of these things became invasive on the island. Invasive species can wreak havoc on ecosystems, especially ones as unique as South Georgia, and the introduced rats devastated ground nesting bird populations. In recent times, a habitat restoration campaign has been undertaken to remove invasive species and return the ecosystem to the way it was before these unwanted guests arrived. The rodent eradication campaign started in 2011, and South Georgia was declared rodent-free in 2018. South Georgia is now an ecosystem in recovery. Detection dogs were implemented pre-border in the Falklands to check all boats going to South Georgia for rodents. The dogs are far more effective and efficient than humans at searching complex areas for cryptic species, so they were an obvious choice. Vessels coming to the Falklands before they travel to South Georgia are subject to a rodent dog search, and the team search everything from tiny yachts to huge cruise ships. Pre-COVID, the dog team would conduct around 75 cruise ship searches per year, plus 25 other vessel searches. So some of the challenges with the project: mice and rats pee wherever they go. We found urine would soak into absorbent surfaces like wood and fabric, and the odour would be picked up by the dogs, making it sometimes difficult to distinguish current presence to residual odour. In one case, odour from a previous infestation was being picked up by the dogs 10 years after eradication. So we've had to work hard on different behaviours for live versus feces, for example, or for old versus fresh odour. Changing the goalposts. We are constantly asking our dogs to detect different levels of odour. Has one mouse just snuck on a boat? We want you to trail that mouse and get to it. If a vessel is infested with rats, we want you to find the nest, the latrine, the live rat. They have to work through a lot of different situations, and so it's really important that we replicate that in training. It's really important we do that because the consequences of us finding something on a vessel or on the island are huge. Successes. The dog team have found mice in cargo and rats on ships and have prevented them from getting to South Georgia. Like everyone, COVID-19 meant we had to adapt. In the first year, we thought that just meant wearing some PPE and continuing with our searches. But when the cruise ships started to come back, the vessels weren't stopping in the Falklands, they were going directly to South Georgia. So the team mobilised to South Georgia. We conducted cruise ship searches there, and we also did some active monitoring at visitor sites around the islands. As South Georgia is so well environmentally protected, a lot of work was done behind the scenes to import an invasive species, the dog, to the South Georgia, and to make sure, of course, we weren't causing any disturbance to wildlife or to the environment. Coming from the Falklands, where we work here around penguin colonies and sea lions, I felt I had a pretty good grasp of what working around wildlife meant. But you can see in this video here, South Georgia is on another level. You've got molting penguins a few feet away, there's elephant seals in the background having a Barney, and there's Sammy, just cool as a cucumber. So what we're working on at the moment is determining which is more effective in a low density outside scenario, for example, in the early stages of a rodent incursion. Are the dog teams better? Are the human monitoring like wax tags better? Or is it a combination of the two? We'd love to know more about rodent behaviour when they get to a new area. If a rat hops on a boat, how long before they make a nest? How long before they seek food? And how far would they range from their safe area? And lastly, how do we make pre-border biosecurity even more effective? Are there new technologies we don't know about that could help prevent rodents getting on boats? We'd love to know if you have any thoughts. Thank you very much. I really look forward to the questions. Cheers.